Hello, Stoic warriors. Today, we're diving into the story of Ragnar Lothbrok, warrior, leader, and legend. His name echoes across the ages as the quintessential Viking. But what if I told you that his greatest strength was also his undoing? Through the lens of Stoicism, we'll explore Ragnar's rise and tragic fall, uncovering valuable lessons his journey holds for us. Stick around to see how his story serves as a cautionary tale and how Stoic wisdom might have saved him. Ragnar Lothbrok wasn't just a Viking, he was the Viking. A farmer turned explorer, a raider turned king. His boldness brought him unparalleled success, raiding new lands, defying tradition, and outsmarting his rivals at every turn. Admired and feared, Ragnar was a leader who broke barriers, but left chaos in his wake. Yet, beneath the charisma and ambition lay the seeds of his undoing. But was Ragnar truly a great man, or merely a great manipulator? Ragnar's ambition was unmatched, but it was also his greatest flaw. His hunger for power and recognition often blinded him to the dangers ahead. Hubris, the overconfidence in one's abilities, led Ragnar to take reckless risks. Instead of calculating the consequences, he chased glory, believing his legendary status made him invincible. It was a dangerous gamble for any leader. What could Ragnar have done differently? Let's turn to Stoicism. The philosophy of Stoicism, championed by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, teaches self-control, reason, and focusing on what we can control. Ragnar, however, was often ruled by his ego and emotions. Rather than practicing temperance and rationality, he let his ambition and pride steer his decisions that led to suffering for himself and those he loved. Let's examine key moments in Ragnar's life to see how this played out. The raid on Paris. Ragnar's obsession with Paris wasn't just about strategy, it was about feeding his ego. Despite heavy losses, he doubled down, sacrificing lives for fleeting glory. The betrayal of Lagertha. Ragnar's decision to abandon Lagertha, his equal in battle and strategy, created a rift that haunted him for years. Lagertha's strength and independence highlighted what Ragnar lost when ambition overpowered loyalty. Aslaug, his second wife, brought him heirs but divided his household. Her mysticism and ambition clashed with Ragnar's practicality. While she bore his sons, her influence over him often undermined his focus, creating discord within his family. Destruction of the settlements in Wessex. Ragnar's alliance with King Egbert brought temporary success but ended in tragedy. His failure to protect the settlers exposed his inability to balance ambition with responsibility. As Ragnar's flaws mounted, so did the consequences. Ragnar's ego ultimately drove his downfall. His insatiable desire to leave a lasting legacy came at great cost, not just to himself, but to his family and followers. The Stoics teach us to balance personal ambition with virtue and the greater good. Ragnar, however, often allowed ambition to outweigh morality. Execution of Jarl Borg. This infamous act wasn't just punishment, it was a statement of dominance, but it alienated allies and planted seeds of dissent. Confrontation with Rollo. His inability to reconcile with Rollo turned sibling rivalry into a destructive force, costing Ragnar allies and resources. Even in his final chapter, Ragnar's decisions were driven by ego. After years of absence, Ragnar returned a broken man. His relationship with Yidu, a slave-turned-lover, reflected his inner turmoil. Her influence and his resulting addiction led to moments of recklessness that accelerated his fall. Ragnar's absence profoundly impacted his children. Bjorn emerged as a capable leader but carried the scars of abandonment. Ivar idolized Ragnar's darker traits, using them to justify his own ruthlessness. In a final act of strategy, Ragnar offered himself as a sacrifice to the Saxons, hoping to unite his sons against their common enemy. Yet even this act was driven by ego. the desire to be remembered as the greatest Viking of all time. What lessons can we take from his story? Ragnar Lothbrok's story reminds us of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of self-awareness. Stoicism offers a path forward, focusing on what we can control, cultivating reason, and living a life guided by virtue. Ragnar's rise and fall may be fictional, but the lessons are timeless. By embracing Stoic principles, we can avoid the pitfalls of ego and ambition and strive for a more balanced life. Ragnar Lothbrok was a legend, but even legends are human. The question remains, was he a hero or a warning? His story is a cautionary tale for all of us. What will you do to master your ambition and channel it wisely? Share your thoughts below. For another analysis of a fallen Stoic warrior, watch this video on Daenerys Targaryen. And don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic insights.